Well, my name is Sierra Spencer. I'm originally from Elgin, Oklahoma, in the southwest area, so I'm not really from around this part. I'm currently pursuing a degree in agriculture and plans to be a agriculture education instructor in the classroom.
All right. My name is Bill Day, and I'm from Roland, Oklahoma. So I'm a lot nearer than you. I do know where Elgin is, and as you know, Muldrow had a Miss America a while back. I was her teacher,
Really?
so, and her director. So that's Muldrow's only claim to fame.
Okay. Whenever you'd like to start. I mean, do you want to just start from the beginning?
Yes. I graduated in 1965. I was here 2 years. I got a BA in the arts. I went on and became a speech and drama and major with a music minor. So I taught probably as many music classes as I did theater through the years. I taught 5 years at Sallisaw and 10 at Muldrow, and my last 25 was at Carl State College in Poteau. So that was, you all were our rivals. And I always found it hard to yell against Connors because it was near and dear.
Right.
So, and the way I got here, my whole family was in retail. And so I went into retail and I hated it. And I stayed about 6 months and I said, I can't do this. And so I enrolled at West Stark in Fort Smith. And that's where I'd planned to go the next year. And I saw two of my buddies at a grocery store. And they said, hey, we're going to college. You want to go? And I said, where are you going? They said, to Connors. I said, I've never been there. So we handled it by mail, snail mail then, all we had. And I had never been on the campus when I moved into this building. And, it's some of my greatest memories.
You mean this building specifically?
Yes, this building was our dormitory. Yes.
Okay.
So.
What kind of student were you?
Average. Not anything excellent, but I think, not to insult him, but I think things were a lot more difficult then. Maybe the teachers, even though they were really maybe a little more hard nosed. So your dad died. You need to get to class, or something like that. And so it was one semester when I was here. There was one person on the president's honor roll, and it was an older lady. So some of them were tough.
What did you do for fun?
Well, the theater, we did have a theater program. It was small, but we had one. Also had a music program, and there was a lady that had been here for years and years that taught music, and she retired the year before I came, and we got a new guy, and he had the little man syndrome. And I guess the most upset I ever was is I played for a musical for him, and he gave me a C in piano. So I guess, and then we had no recourse. A C was a C, and it was not going to be changed. There was no recourse. You didn't protest. You didn't have a meeting with the dean. That's just how it was. So.
Gotcha. How would your classmates have remembered you?
I think most of them would remember me as probably a good guy, hardworking.
Are you still friends with anyone from that time in your life?
Yes, several. My roommate both years was a guy from Henrietta, David Files, and we're still friends. The guy I mentioned, Jerry Stevens, we're still good friends. Keep contact by email. So
What are your best memories of Connors?
This is going to be a shock to you. But I went to work in the library when I came, and I stayed 2 weeks. And you had to be quiet, you had to tiptoe. There was an older librarian, she was very, very strict. And I talked to Dean Lusky, and I said, I don't know if I can do this. We stayed till 10 at night then. And he said, well, the only job I have in the cafeteria. I said, I'll take it. That is the best job I ever had. I learned a lot. I got up at 4:30 every morning, went to the cafeteria and cooked about 20 dozen eggs, and worked a lot of banquets, which I still use that. But Jeannie Martin was a dietitian, and everybody said, well, she favors you, and she probably did. You know, but I worked hard, you know, and I got up at 4:30. Mm-hmm. So.
What were some of the instructors who had a particular strong influence on your life?
Mrs. Rimmer taught history. And she started when the first person came in. I mean, if it was 10 minutes before the bell, whatever, she started. And she would quit when the last person left. So you could go in Dr. Montgomery's class, and you could say, Dr. Montgomery, I was in Miss Rimmer's class. He'd say, okay. But she was wonderful. Very hard, but she was wonderful. Dr. Montgomery taught literature and English. And then I had a teacher the first year I was here that was just here 1 year. Her name was Mrs. Fothery. And I had her and her English class and a speech class. And she was very, very good, very, very personal and good. Harry Jackson. I was here the last year, 63, 64 was the last football team. And Harry Jackson was the coach. And so that was the first year I was here. The next year there was no football team. And so Harry Jackson taught sociology and English. And I had him in English, and he was very good, except like he would say Shabbat instead of Chekhov, the playwright. I had to tell him, Mr. Jackson is Chekhov.
Did you ever get in trouble?
No, I don't guess I did. I was not a prankster. I'm still not. I don't like to be pranked, and I don't do it. But now there was some cards here. I remember one young man. He had he worked in the janitorial thing, and he would have that bathroom just shining, that old floor. And some of the boys put a water bucket on the top, and then when you opened it, it spilled. And I remember you could have heard him in the student union. So, but I don't guess I ever got in trouble.
What did you look like?
Pretty much the same. My kids, I taught the first year, say, you look exactly like you did when I had you, except your hair's gray. And they tell my wife the same thing.
Did you have a nickname?
No, just Bill. I mean, my name's not Bill, but that's what I've been called. It's William, George William. So I was just always called. My parents call me Bill. That's.
Who were your best friends?
Now, then.
Probably
Gary Wilkes, Jerry Stephen, Carl Jones, Danny Hubble. Danny Hubble was from Hara. Carl Jones was from Arkansas, Yellville, Arkansas. And they were probably my best ones.
Okay.
So.
What did you think your life would be like, and has it gone expectedly?
No, it has been much better than I expected. And I credit Connors for a lot of that. I still think, and I've always, when I taught, I would say, you need to go to a junior college, wherever. You know, don't go to OU and be in an English class with 500 and you're a number and you're taught by a student, you know. And I said, go where you will be known. And then I wound up at Carl Albert for 25 years. And that was a good experience. A lot different from high school.
I know you were mentioning earlier that you guys watched the draft and what used to be
Yes.
the student lounge. You went
They had the Vietnam War draft lottery. And it was my second semester, my second year. And so we had an old black and white television down here in this lounge. And so I guess about everybody in the dorm was there and to watch the draft. And we had a couple of boys that their numbers were, it seems like one of them was 5 and one of them was maybe 15. So they were gone. I mean, they were out. That's the only thing I ever won. Mine was 200 and something.
Do you recall how you felt during that time?
I did not agree with the war. I did not protest the war. I did not agree with it. I didn't know really what we were fighting for, and I still don't. And we had lots and lots and lots of boys killed. I had 2 friends killed. You know, but then you kind of kept your feelings to yourself. Had I been drafted, I'd have gone. You know, I wouldn't have tried to dodge it, but I didn't agree with it.
Okay. What are the most important lessons you've learned in life?
When you get a job, make yourself irreplaceable. Work twice as hard as everybody else and make yourself irreplaceable. When you leave, they'll have to hire 2. And when I left Muldrow, they hired 2.5 teachers to take my place because I taught music, I taught debate and theater, I did a musical, I did a play, and I taught 2 hours of English. So when I left, they hired a music teacher and a speech and drama teacher, and they taught speech too. So that's what I always told the kids in class, work twice as hard as anybody else.
Other than that, are there any words of wisdom you'd like to pass along?
Just work hard. And, you know, if you have a dream and you work at it, you can achieve it. And, but it does take hard work. My life has been twice as good as I expected it to be. And Connors were the best 2 years of my life until I got married and I had my 2 daughters. And now I have 5 grandchildren, so it's really good.
Congratulations. What do you do for a living now?
I retired. So I basically don't do anything. There's a couple of speech teachers around that'll call me and I'll go help them, but I just help them. I don't. My wife and I both make quilts. And
she ever turned them in for Tulsa State Fair or anything?
No, never have entered in any
No.
competition. And everybody says you should, but
Never wanted to.
no. I was a big 4-H member in high school. That at that time 4-H was real big,
Right.
real big, and so I was real active in it. Went lots of places with 4-H, Kansas City, Washington D.C., and some of that.
Okay. If you could do anything now, what would you do?
Exactly what I did.
Is there any message you'd like to leave for future students at Connors?
Just to work hard, and you can get to school if you want to, if you work hard enough. It's there, and your teachers are generally going to work for you, not against you. So.
Did you pursue a 4-year college after?
Yes, I have 2 master's degrees, and I don't know why. I've got one in high school administration, and I don't know why I did that, because I would never want, and I have a master's in theater. So, and my oldest daughter is a doctor, and my youngest one taught theater for 15 years, and she said, can't do it anymore, going back to school to be a private counselor. So.
I think that's pretty much all the questions I had.
That's about it, I think. We've pretty well covered it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.